Welcome back, friends. So, I wanted to make another video on weed. I have a couple in my arsenal of the past. But this one, honestly, kind of a real quick one, just an opinion. It's just my opinion. Okay, calm down, keyboard warriors. But no, I was just thinking, I live in one of the states that legalized recreational marijuana use, and just within this month, they now instituted the taxation on the product. So when I go to a dispensary, my total is a lot different. And I've been talking to a lot of the people who work in dispensaries, which I'm not sure if you've ever been to one, if you live in a state, one of the 47 that does not allow recreational marijuana smocation. First of all, my condolences, that sucks. Secondly, basically when you walk in, it's like walking into your best friend's house. Pot dispensaries are probably the coolest place to hang out like ever. I've learned more about the plant. I've learned more about growing and legality and whys and why nots and taxation. And the taxation is where I had the opinion for today's video, because I understand tax, I get why we do it, I'm opposed to it. Again, I live in one of the 50 states that does not tax anything. I mean, there's an income tax, but that's it, and that's even unconstitutional, but that's another day. But basically, all I was thinking about is, in all of my discussions with these people, we talk about where the tax revenue is going. And in my eyes, it is so ridiculous, and the fact that these taxes helped get this passed, which I am happy for, but it really shows you the hypocrisy behind government. Because when I read you where the tax money is going to, and we talk about it a little bit, I'm pretty certain you can help me see the humor in why the money's going there. First off, out the gate, let's just put the big chunk in. 40% going to the school districts. It's been deemed a common school fund, and I am a huge proponent for giving money to schools. We need it because our kids are not doing well. Let's just leave it at that, okay? But there's a lot of things working against that, and we don't have time in this video to go over them all, but money into the education system is just one. There are other factors working against younger generations trying to get a good education in this country. But hear me out. Basically, when the vote took place in this state, it was 50% approved for the legalization of marijuana and then 43% opposed. So that basically tells you that 43% of the people that live throughout this state happen to be probably a little more conservative, because you have to be pretty small-minded to be able to overlook all of marijuana's benefits. That's not a slam at conservatives, it's more like a wake-up call. How about learn more, is all I say. However, instead of bashing a group, let's look at it this way. That 43% of people who were opposed to the legalization were basically people trying to vilify marijuana as harmful or dangerous or even a risky venture for the state to go. And that just makes me laugh, because 40% of the tax on marijuana is going into the school districts. And if these people really deem this drug as that dangerous, doesn't that just kind of mean that the schools are financed by drugs? Like, that's literally what we're doing right now. All of this taxation, because it is a lot. In the first week of sales, Oregon hit over 11 million, and Colorado and Washington have exceeded hundreds of millions in tax revenue. This is a huge game changer. And the reason I have such an opinion about this is because, first of all, I live in a state that's anti-tax. I don't want my fun time to be taxed. That alone in itself is enough reason for me to not want the tax. Secondly, I just don't plainly agree where they're putting the tax money, and I don't like it that the people who are so opposed to marijuana are the same people benefiting from its tax money. So basically, all of the tax revenue that is generated from the sale of legalized marijuana is being dispersed to a couple different things. 40% of it is going to the state school districts, which does seem smart. However, there's a lot of factors that come into play with why our school districts aren't really keeping on track with the rest of the world. I think America really needs to look into what they can do to revolutionize what schooling means in this country before we put all the blame in the funding, because a revolutionary idea here and there wouldn't hurt either, by the way. Anyway, next we're giving 20% of the tax revenue to mental health, alcoholism, and drug rehabilitation. My only problem with that is the fact that they're deeming marijuana a drug. It is in fact a medicine. If you disagree with me, research it, please. I beg of you. It's been used to cure ailments for centuries, long before the American government ever deemed it illegal. It's insane that we look at a plant as something far more dangerous than something that takes lives of hundreds of millions of people yearly. Tobacco usage, alcoholism, or heavy drug use. Heck, look at Big Pharma. If we don't have to tax them at the same rate, how dare they tax a plant? I do get fed up. I don't mind that schools are going to be better funded. I hate that it's with the money coming from medicine. I hate that we're not taxing Big Pharma and putting those drugs under the microscope, because those are known to cause such harsh side effects. And those are also known to be so addicting, it can ruin people's lives. The amount of deaths on record for marijuana use is absolutely zero. And also, it's not addictive. The people who say they get addicted to marijuana, and I used to think I was one of them, are just addicted to the lifestyle it can bring. It clears your mind, it makes you feel more at ease, you snack a bunch, and you laugh. You enjoy life. I'm sorry, but if you think that's something you can get addicted to, then maybe it's happiness? I don't know what else you could literally see as a negative with weed. I've learned so much about it. I've talked to many people across the board, from your average user to a dealer to law officials. I feel like I have a good knowledge for what the product itself is, does, and can be beneficial for, and I feel like I do know the cons, as there are with anything. However, all the other big players in that risky game of drug war are never talked about. I just think it's really gross that we villainize something that's so beneficial for so many people, and we don't put the research behind it. Because honestly, if we really found out what this plant can do, I think it would change the world. I know after just months of smoking myself, to be more at peace and have more clarity in my own life, it's opened me up to so many ideas, topics, discussions, teachings that I never would have known, never would have stumbled into, never would have been interested in researching. That's what this plant has done for me. There's another 20% going into both citywide and countywide law enforcement to crack down on legal marijuana usage, and then 5% going into the Oregon Health Authority drug program. Also, I take umbrage with that. Not a drug, shouldn't be classified the same. I hate that we have law officials deeming marijuana use class 1. People shouldn't be getting felony charges and put in prison for growing or dispersing plants. And that's what we're doing. And you have to take this into consideration. Cannabis oil has known to cure cancer. It is also known to cure a lot of other ailments that nobody in the government would ever dare tell, because Big Pharma would not benefit from that. You can't patent a plant, therefore nobody could get rich off of weed. In the future, it really could become something that is everybody's right to grow, own, and smoke. I honestly just wanted to have a little topical video that kind of broached, why tax? What are we doing? What is this tax doing? Is it going where we want it to go? Why would people who are buying weed want to throw their hard-earned money into a system that's only being used to crack down on their fellow brothers and sisters who want to enjoy the herb, like, for real? I have to help fund a police department that's going to sit and patrol the max transit line. I just wish we had more of a say personally in where our tax dollars went. I wish that maybe individually everybody was able to pick 10 different organizations they want to put their tax money into. Or maybe we just have a giant pool and then it gets divided and the thing you put your tax money in is the thing that you are rewarded with at the end of the year. That way you're investing in something you love. I mean, why are we forcing people to pay taxes into the military and the war industrial complex when we're a country who over 50% are ready for peacetime? We don't want to promote more war. Why are we being forced to pay into war? Why, just because it's the way it was, does it still have to be that way? Is my question at hand. Basically, I wanted to bring that up to other millennials, like-minded thinkers, and people who oppose it, because I know they exist. But all I'm saying, I don't want to get this twisted. I do support giving funds to schooling. I want us to have a safe and well-regulated police community. And of course, I like supporting programs that are there for people who need drug and alcohol rehabilitation. However, I just think that our government is trying to vilify a plant by categorizing it with the rest of drugs and alcohol. Because honestly, it doesn't do anything near what those do. Those things are drugs that you party with. Have fun, by all means, no judgment. Do you, I don't care. But don't judge people who smoke weed and treat it as medicine like drug users. It's just not the same thing. That's my point of the video. I just wanted to get that across. I think where the money for the tax revenue on legalized marijuana is going is ridiculous. I think it should be going to better things. I think leaders within the community itself should be organizing different means for where the funds go, and I think they could easily work with the Politico types to make sure that it was kosher enough with everybody. However, it's just, why are we letting government dip its toes into everything? Let people have their business, and let us as a people figure out how we want to do this tax thing. I mean, I moved from a state that taxes high to a state that doesn't tax, and literally the state that doesn't tax is way better. So taxing isn't everything. We're not meant to be taxed. I think we need to enjoy what is ours and share. And the government doesn't deserve a big chunk. And we need to stop it with the Wall Street madness and the bailouts, and we need to figure out what we're doing. So I wanted to bring this topic up for discussion. Continue it in comments below. Please add your thoughts. They can oppose mine. I don't care. Get conversation going. Speak your truth. And always do that, you know? Don't let anybody make you think something a certain way because you're opposing their view. Because people's views I opposed. At times, you may feel like the underdog. You may feel like you're losing the battle. But I can't tell you how many times I actually came through teaching somebody or having somebody come up to me and telling me that they learned from me. And that's one of the coolest experiences, because when you don't go out there expecting that, you just go out to like get a conversation going, but then somebody tells you they learned from you, it's like this mind-blowing experience. It's like, oh my God, I'm teaching. Like, I don't think of myself as a teacher, but having dialogue going and speaking your truth and standing in your own convictions, it's a cool thing. It's powerful. So keep doing that if you are, and if you aren't, look into it. Believe in yourself. I'm telling you, a huge strength is within you. You just haven't found it yet. Oh my God, I'm starting to ramble on and on. It could go forever. Anyway, I'm glad I made this video. Contribute in the discussions below. I hope you're doing well. Take care of yourself. If you're of legal age, which this country demands, enjoy a puff every once in a while. Calm down, relax. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and do such, okay? Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow. A peace out. I still can't double peace you. Fist bump. Bye.